Hi, this is Mr. G. How you doing? Hope you're doing alright. And I'm here with another review of a piece of my kit. Today it is the turn of this rather attractive Electro Acoustic. This is an Ibanez AEG24II or second generation. And I've been playing acoustic guitar, well, since I started playing guitar. I'm very much of the opinion of starting on an acoustic, even if you want to play electric guitar. But these days, I do two separate live music shows. One's as a duo with my electric playing rock and blues, and the other is a solo acoustic show that I do, just covers in pubs here in Cyprus. And I do a whole variety of kind of pub covers that you would just expect, and some maybe that you wouldn't expect. And I've had several electroacoustics in my time, but as you might have guessed by looking at me, I'm quite a portly gentleman, and I find that thick acoustic guitars are very uncomfortable because my tummy is quite big. So the thinner the guitar, the more comfortable it is. Of course, generally thin guitars have a thinner sound. It's just natural acoustics that a thin acoustic guitar is not going to sound as full and warm as a big massive one. So I've struggled over the years to find an acoustic guitar that I enjoyed playing that sounded good. And I took a bit of a risk with this. I ordered this online without ever playing it, and as you can see, it's very, very thin indeed. But one of the things about me and this guitar is that I'm very, very rarely will play it acoustically. It's nearly always plugged in. And so I wasn't too concerned about the acoustic sound, and actually the acoustic sound of it isn't great. But plugged in, very happy with it indeed. Just to give you some details, we've got a flame maple top. Now it may look plain black, I can't tell until I look at the video, but actually it's trans grey burst, something like that, with a high gloss. And if you look closely, you can see the flamed wood on it, but generally it looks quite black from an audience point of view. They also do a red one, and this guitar is still available. It's got mahogany back and sides, a mahogany neck with a rosewood fingerboard, gold hardware, and while normally I don't like gold hardware because it tarnishes very, very quickly, but that's mainly on electric guitars. Here on my right hand, the bridge and the saddles or whatever, if they're gold plated, then they tend to tarnish really quickly when I'm playing blues or rock. But these ones still looking okay. I've had this guitar about a year. I've done maybe 50 or 60 gigs with it, and I'm generally very happy. The electronics has a Fishman sonic coil pickup under the saddle and an Ibanez preamp just here on the top. Now I will say the preamp has got a volume, treble, a bass, a tuner, built-in tuner, and a phase switch, which I'll talk about in a minute. But the one thing I would say about this guitar is it would have been nice if they put a mid-range knob on there as well. And I know a lot of expensive guitars now are coming purely with a tone control, volume and tone, making it very simple. They're hiding them in the sound hole just here. Even some top of the range Martins and Taylors are coming like that. But for me, as a pub performer, if you like, it's nice to have control there. So I would have liked a mid-range, but it's not the end of the world, to be honest. And at the moment I've got 85-15 strings. I think these are 12s, 11s or 12s. my local supplier is very short of strings. So you'll be getting a little bit of the tone, the acoustic tone, coming through the mic on the camera, but I'm also recording using my Line 6 Pod HD. So some of the tone, admittedly, is coming from that, but I've got all the effects turned off apart from a little bit of compression and a little bit of reverb. So I've got the EQs flat on the guitar and the phase switch is out, so it's off. So I'll just play you a few chords and you can have a listen. So it's got a nice tone, and to be honest, a lot of people have come up to me at my gigs this year saying how nice the guitar sounded. A couple of guitarists amongst them, and your average Joe public as well. So that's great, and I play very simply on my acoustic sessions. Really just some arpeggios and chords, and that's it really. Nothing fancy. Sometimes I do a little bit of, I do a version of Crossroads, which is kind of acoustic cover of the electric cover that Cream did. So that kind of thing. I do a whole wide variety of tunes, to be honest. And as a backing instrument, it's been great. It's easy to carry around. It's light. The neck is nice and thin. Even though I started on acoustic, I very much play electric guitar much more than acoustic. And certainly in the last 10 years that's very much been the case, and I would say any electric guitar player is going to find the neck on this very comfortable to play on. It's quite thin, I don't know if you can see it there. It's got a nice satiny kind of back to it, and I know the ESP, the limited range, the LTD range, they also did a range of guitars, electro acoustics, that were specifically designed for electric guitar players as well. But and I looked at those, but they were a bit thicker in the body, so I went for this one. And I'd never really thought about Ibanez for acoustic guitars, but actually I've been very, very happy with it. I'm still deciding, even after all this time, which strings I prefer. And but I will get there. And also, living here in Cyprus, it's not always that easy to get different strings. But those of you in the UK or the US or France, Germany, somewhere like that, I'm sure your shops stock pretty much everything. I'm going to put a little bit of chorus from my Pod HD on, because I love the sound. Let me just turn around and turn that on. I love the sound of this guitar with a bit of chorus. I'll play one of my old favourites here. So quite a nice sustain as well for such a small guitar. So yeah, so overall, really happy with it. Price wise, I think I paid about 350 euros a year ago, something like that. I'll have to check on the price, the current price. But if you're looking for an electroacoustic guitar, especially if you mainly play electric guitar, and you want something that's good, alright, you're not going to be, you know, maybe David Gray wouldn't use one, if you know who he is, because nearly all of his guitaring is acoustic, or Glenn Hansard, for instance. You know, he's got a battered old acoustic guitar that's huge, you know, and has a huge sound, although Glenn Hansard's one's got a massive hole in it, but that's what he likes. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He's an Irish singer-songwriter. He's written some beautiful music and stars in a film called Once. But if you're an electric guitarist who wants an acoustic guitar, either because, like me, you do the odd acoustic show, or you've got a few songs in your set that you're doing with your band or whatever, that you want to play on the acoustic guitar, of course, most famous. Got to do Wish You Were Here. So, the last thing I was going to say was the phase switch. Basically, a phase switch will help reduce feedback, especially if you're getting bass feedback. If you're playing in a loud live situation, you can put the phase switch in. I'll just press it down now and have a listen. It does alter the tone. So that's with the phase switch in. I'll play the same thing again with it out. So it runs on a 9-volt and quite nicely the guitar jack port is not in the end the strap pin, which I think is a good idea. It can be pretty awkward having it in the strap pin, so well, that's how I feel about it. The other odd one is the other strap pin is here on the side of the neck as opposed to being on the back of the body. But I've never felt that it caused a problem. Obviously it's got single cutaway. If you want to get up here, to be honest, how often do I play acoustic above the 12th fret? Never. But that's me, you know, somebody else might. And in terms of the build quality, I've been very happy with it. It looks beautiful. I've not had to alter the action. I'd maybe lower it just a touch. On my electric guitars I like my action very high, but on acoustic I like them as low as I can get them. And after a year of playing, maybe twice a week live, with this guitar. It might be time for me to get it, you know, professionally set up. It's not something I would do. I would get a luthier to do it for me. So I hope you found this interesting. I'll just finish off by playing a few bits, and I can certainly recommend the Ibanez AEG24II.